Good morning and welcome to the One Lonely Farmer channel. Yes, I look the same as I do when I do Ag Talking and Raw because guess what? I'm going to do an Ag Talking and Raw video next and you can't see me anyway because I have this posted over underneath, or the video that you're watching is underneath. So, let's talk about the 4010 a little bit while you're watching me get this baler put up on the up on that trailer. The 4010 started and ran just fine. There was a little bit of an issue. I ran it out of fuel because I only put like 4 gallons of fuel in it, and you know, that's just the way that worked. I backed it out of the shop if you were watching Instagram, because I did post live on YouTube and live on Instagram so that the people that were on Instagram could see that I was posting that the tractor was running, and things worked out quite well. So yes, they were on both forums, and you can also go to Pandy Tim on Instagram and see a little bit there, and I even believe he did do one on YouTube, so that's Tim Pandy on YouTube. So anyhow, the 4010, there's always problems that are going to pop up with these things when they've sat for 1.5 million years, and this tractor did not sit in a spot where it was great. It was under a little it was under the old bunk feeder for the cows, and it sat there while we had the cows. Of course, they beat the shit out of it because they're cows. They run into it and get behind it and bend tin work and stuff like that. The roof blew off of in 2012 after we had sold the cows, and it exposed that tractor to more elements than I wanted it to be exposed to. Even though it was not seized up, it just wasn't a happy tractor. So, let's see here. I'm not putting the tractor on the back burner, but I am actually going to just do some work on it, a little bit of work on it yet, hydraulic stuff. Everybody knows that the thing is running now, so I'm just going to skip over all the tedious, monotonous shit that was recorded and go right to some more of the okay, the tractor runs videos, and get some of the ass end of that thing cleaned up and show some of the other issues that I'm finding with it, and just technically, just going over the tractor, getting it ready for a paint job. I actually have to paint the dashboard when I get that out of there, which I may be doing today. I don't know if I can come up with a nice enough area to paint that in, because the dash was black, and at least where the gauge cluster was black, and of course the cowling was green. That's around there, and I have some other parts that I have to buy. Now, when I started that tractor up, there was a leak, a hydraulic leak. I'm sure you're going to see that later on in the video series. That the power steering unit, the metering valve unit, it's junk. It could be rebuilt, I'm sure, but there's, and I probably will. I've rebuilt them before. They're not really that difficult to do. It's just a matter of getting it out of there. And if you've ever tore one of these things out of a tractor, you will know 100% that job sucks. Horribly sucks. So, yeah, so that's what we're looking forward to, or what you guys can look forward to on that one. Now, if you look at the video and you're tired of listening to me talk, you'll watch me backing this thing up. The driver did okay. He just wasn't that hands-on with the guiding me back, and he'd get me 3/4 of the way up on that trailer and then tell me to get off because I wasn't in the right spot. And you cannot see behind you when you're backing these balers up. It's really just a guessing game. And you see him waving me on, and when he stopped me, and said, "Okay, you're good," and I unhooked everything and we got it all done, he was actually about 8 inches off to one side. Now, maybe that's the way he likes to load stuff. I don't know. But I wouldn't have been too thrilled about hauling it like that, but I guess he was. Yeah. So the baler's actually pretty well done out at Messick's, and getting ready to come back to me. So I'm not even going to say when I'm going out or if I've already gone out there, just for the simple reason Messick's has asked me to, keep it on the down low, because people just walk into their shop looking for me, and it has happened quite often in recent weeks. So they're like, "Listen, just don't tell them if and when you're going to be out there, or anything." So I'm I'm just going to tell you that I'm not telling you if I've been out there or if I'm going out there. Or if I'm even scheduled to go out there. I know my baler will be back before I go away, and that's in 9 days, so it's pretty well done. I can tell you that. As a matter of fact, I think it is done. But that's just the long and short of it. So, moving on to bigger and better things. My dad went out to a farm meeting for his herbicide applicator's license. And he was, he was a little concerned with some of the things that they're talking about, like dicamba use. Dicamba has always been a very volatile chemical compound. Nice, you can get a moist morning where the fog lays on it, and then a little breeze of wind, and it's volatilized and went into that cloud and then lands on grapes and lima beans and all sorts of stuff and destroys them. So there was an extra class that he had to take in order to purchase the dicamba. So, and the dealer that we would normally deal with is not going to stock it because there has been so many problems with these dicamba soybeans and just killing tomatoes and anything that it can get close to that you really don't want it to hurt. And we're talking not fields next door, we're talking miles and miles away. I used some Clarity last year. They told me it was less volatile than the old Banville, and it just, hey, oh wow, you can really just fuck up some stuff. So we've always used 2,4-D and a Banville mix, but when I apply it to say my hay crop, there's nothing else growing. We're doing that in March and April, and sometimes into May, never any later than the May 10th, when we should be starting to plant corn, which I'm not planting corn. I'm not planting corn. I might plant some corn this year. I don't know. I really enjoyed picking corn with Timmy Corn Picker, but yeah, who knows? But anyways, the dicamba thing has really gone nuts, and I mean nuts. You just really have to be super careful when you're applying that stuff, and with the increased usage of it due to the dicamba soybeans, there has been so many problems, and of course there's a lot of lawsuits. Now, there's other people that use dicamba other than farmers and fertilizer and herbicide companies. That would be landscapers. Now, landscapers claim that they have theirs tagged, and tagging dicamba, I guess there's a radioactive material that they put into it, and they can test for this. I don't have any clue about that stuff, but it's always been traditional that a lawn and garden guy, a lawn care service can come out, put whatever chemical at whatever rate they want to make the neighbor's lawn look like it's fake, and it doesn't matter if they kill the neighbor's hedges or bleach out their flowers. I mean, there was a product years ago. Oh God, it wasn't Chloridane. Chloridane was an insecticide, but it was, oh my God, I can't even remember. Command. Now, Command would kill the weeds by strongly prohibiting the production of chlorophyll. Now, chlorophyll, that's where I thought maybe Chloridane, but chlorophyll is the color that goes into it. And I used Command years ago when I grew pumpkins. And we're talking, you want to talk volatility? Holy shit. If you had that even on the sprayer, you didn't wash your sprayer off after using Command, and you drove that thing by somebody's flower gardens, there would be white flowers instead of pink ones and blue ones and all sorts of, my mom has tulips along the driveway. They've always been there since I was a little kid, and the deer eat them more than anything now. But my dad drove, sprayed the pumpkins and then went down to spray corn a little later after rinsing the inside of the tank out, but he didn't wash the outside of the tank off because nobody does. And her tulips turned white, and all the yellow ones and the red ones turned pink, and they just could not. It wasn't a dose that would kill the tulips, but it was enough to bleach out the. I'm sure it was tulips. Was it tulips? That seems awful early for him to be using command. I don't even remember now. I thought it was tulips. It could have been something else. I don't know. But anyways, volatility in these herbicides, and it travels a long way. We used 2,4-D on corn years ago, and my grandmother could never grow lima beans. I'll never forget her. She had lima beans. The vines went right to the top of the poles, but they never produced any beans. Very limited in the production of the beans because it wasn't a killing dose. It was just a crippling dose, and I believe that's what happens with dicamba and these grapes and tomatoes and potatoes and whatever else dicamba can have a negative effect to on. Very susceptible to that sort of stuff. I personally don't think I have a problem with dicamba because we use it early enough that nobody's growing anything that it can affect. Maybe tulips, maybe early spring flowers like crocuses and daffodils and things like that. But I forget now, it's funny. It might have been poppies that my mother was growing. And no, not for heroin, but poppies. They're a very pretty flower. So anyways, that's the end of this video. So I hope you enjoyed me loading that bugger up. And yeah, I'll be looking forward to that thing coming back this week. So thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. And don't forget to check out Ag Talk in the Raw. I'll leave a link in the description below.